Blue Devils of Duke. Clemson reached the second round of this tournament with a big second-half run that eliminated the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest, while Duke had the tournament advantage of being the top seed. They knocked off number 9 Virginia 2 nights ago, and they've had a day to rest. Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Dick Vitale. It's great to have you with us. Most teams want no part of Duke, and you can understand why. But the Clemson Tigers are different. They actually wanted to play Duke a third time.
Well, Mike, they got their wish. They got the Dukies right out here. In 80 minutes of action, only 5 points have separated these two clubs. Clemson preseason, a top 5 team in America. But they didn't play. They underachieved. But they're playing brilliantly now. Yesterday in the second half, they were sensational. The reason? A healthy Terrell McIntyre. In the last 8 games since he's been able to practice, they've won 6 of them with only a loss to Duke and to North Carolina. He can flat out shoot the basketball, Mike. Just a brilliant performer.
He's actually got, it seems, more movement than he has had all year. Former North Carolina State star Terry Gannon joins us today. Let's check in with him about Duke.
Well, Mike, earlier in this season, Clemson really played Duke tough because of their inside presence. Harold Jamison, even Buckner when he went inside. But the difference between Duke then and now, obviously, the presence of Elton Brand, who was out with the injury. The offense centers around him as one of the first options, down on the block. Look at the spacing that the Duke offense gets. Very tough to double down and make him kick the ball out. Brand likes to turn down to the baseline and use his big body. He was their leading scorer early on. Mike Krzyzewski said he was going to be one of the best in the ACC this first year, his freshman year. It not only is his scoring, but what happens after he gets the ball and kicks it out to the shooters on the perimeter. We'll keep a check on that, Mike.
All right, Terry, thanks very much. We'll look forward to that. 2 games that went down to the wire, separated by only 5 points. Both physical, tough, and proud. We'll be back in a moment.
To be perfect.
ESPN's presentation of Championship Week is presented by 7-Up. 7-Up and your local 7-Up bottler invite you to try the crisp new taste of 7-Up. And in part by Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car.
Welcome back to the ACC Tournament in Greensboro for Clemson and Duke. Let's look at our Saturn starting lineups for both ball clubs. First for Clemson, Harold Jamison has moved back into the starting lineup. He has been great against Duke in the regular season. In 2 games, he scored 29 points and had 16 rebounds. For the Duke Blue Devils, Rashawn McLeod has assumed a clutch role down the stretch. His scoring and rebounding averages are way up, and he wants the ball with the game on the line. Dick, the regular season games, they really went after each other.
I'll tell you, Mike, 2 games, as I said, in 80 minutes, only 5 points separate them. That first, 81-80, a 24-point lead, the big comeback. McIntyre has a chance to win it with 3 seconds to go. Offensive rebound, and Turby has a shot. That Duke Clemson game, the second one, McLeod, but it was Trajan Langdon who really came up big in that game. McLeod had 19, but Langdon had 24 and made a 3-point play down the stretch that was so big late in the game. And a block shot by Battier on Jamison was also big.
Mike Krzyzewski, with that win 2 nights ago, has 501 victories in his brilliant career. 428 of them coming at Duke. He has 3 tournament titles to his credit, but only 1 in the 90s. Rick Barnes, on the other hand, has just gone over 200 wins for his career, 74 of them as a Clemson Tiger. This season started with so much promise for him. They really hit a dip, I think, mainly because McIntyre was hurt so much all year, but they have regrouped and gone to 18-12, and they think they can take the Blue Devils here in the semifinals.
They really believe that, Mike, and they have every reason to believe that. They've played them so tough in those 2 games and had a chance to win, and they were excited. They want to play Duke. Well, they're going to get their shot, as we said.
Trajan Langdon knocked it away from Christie. 2 differences between those meetings. 1 for Clemson, McIntyre is healthy. 2 for Duke, Elton Brand is back.
Wojciechowski had the flu and it really bothered him against Virginia in the first game here Thursday night.
Pushing foul on Allenspach as he went after Battier, and Clemson will do one thing guaranteed, that is make it physical.
Yeah, they're a very physical basketball team. Rick Barnes says play with your head, think. The bottom line is they may be one of the most physical teams in America, if not the most physical.
Both teams go 10 deep.
Wojo had a day to rest, though, with that wacky 1-9 playoff on Thursday night.
Langdon had it blocked, lost the ball. Wojo got it back. Brand. Good job by Jamison. Out of bounds to the Tigers.
I'll tell you, a lot of beef in that matchup, Jamison versus Brand. Brand doesn't have the explosiveness yet, Mike. He was so big in that win against North Carolina. Here he is on the inside. See, earlier this year, he would have been able to explode off the floor. He said he has to build his calves a little bit more after being sitting out so long.
Jamison for three, or excuse me, McIntyre for three, and Duke basketball. Both teams look a little tight right now to start.
Duke didn't play yesterday. Clemson had that win over Wake Forest with a brilliant second half.
McLeod walked.
I'll tell you, there's a battle right now, Buckner and McLeod, and I'm going to tell you why. Buckner feels he should have been all ACC first team, and he's been a standout in his 4 years, and he is really ready to challenge McLeod head-to-head.
Well, it sure worked for Shammond Williams in the first game, being ignored on that first team. Buckner. Wojciechowski is going to be called for a foul. He took Buckner down while he was trying to go for the ball.
That Wojo was really, I tell you, you talk about a guy that received a lot of praise in that game against North Carolina. Mike Krzyzewski said, if I'm going to go to an alley, I want him on my side. He had 11 assists, 1 turnover, scored 1 point, and was a star.
Oh, I think he was the most valuable player of that game.
He played brilliantly, no question. Forced things around with his defensive pressure.
Allenspach on the outside. They really don't want him dribbling the ball out there. McIntyre got by Wojo. Got it inside, and Buckner.
I tell you, Buckner's so effective around the basket. I've said so many times that I believe his versatility, he's the most special around the basket.
McLeod with a great drive, couldn't finish.
There aren't many 6'4" players that can do what he can do in a low post. Christie can shoot the three, Mike.
Langdon is on him.
Wojo McIntyre, good matchup.
Jamison will get the foul from Brand. Elton Brand, the freshman from Peekskill, New York, missed 15 games with a broken foot.
There's Buckner on the inside where he operates so well and is so effective.
Vincent Witt will come in for Allenspach, and Buckner will also sit down.
Vincent Witt, a Greensboro kid, played in high school here. Dudley High School, won a state championship.
Ikera Turbe is also in for Rick Barnes' Tigers.
Outstanding passer, Turbe. He's a slasher. He's playing in his home turf now here in Greensboro. Vincent Witt.
Christie, pull-up jumper. Got it.
I'll tell you, they look focused. If they shoot the basketball, that's been their problem, Mike. It's never been defense. They can match up defensively with a lot of people. It's been shooting the basketball.
And it better not come down to the free throw line, or Clemson has no chance.
Yet it was 7 games by 5 points or less, shooting 60%.
Langdon for 3. Got it. Sweet touch there.
Velvet, baby. He's got that velvet stroke, no doubt about it. He's made a lot of big plays. Whenever Duke needed a big play this year, he's been able to respond.
Shooting over 40% from long range. Turbe, who has good skills as a one-on-one player, with a miss, but it's knocked out of bounds by Witt. Chris Carrawell will come in for the first time, and Brand will sit down.
We're going to watch Battier right here. He's going to go down and set a screen, and he creates the opportunity. Every year, see how he goes down and lay that screen? And he creates the opportunity. He's one of those intangible guys like Okalaja. They do all the little things. They don't get a lot of points for stat totals, but they do what it takes to win.
McIntyre was trying to deny Wojciechowski the ball.
And McLeod missed him on the inside, posted.
Double team. Wojo passed on the 3, got it back to McLeod.
Oh, what a nice two-man game that is. You can do a clinic, the execution, the spacing. good post-play presence by McLeod.
In ACC games this year, Rashawn McLeod really stepped up his game, averaging nearly 18 points and 7 rebounds a game. He has taken one big shot after another. He's really become a leader on this club.
He has really helped his stock as well. We got a little violation right there.
Double dribble on Iturbe. Buckner will come back in after a brief rest.
There's a double up inside. Now he's going to kick it back outside. Right there. Now he posts back up on the inside, catches, turns. His stock keeps going up, up, and up, Mike, just like your stock kept going up, up, and up.
His is higher than mine, trust me. 5-4 Blue Devils.
Burgess on the floor played really well against Virginia in the first game of this tournament.
Mike Krzyzewski can run so many players in and out, and I don't mean bodies, players. Langdon, the tip won't go. Burgess with a rebound, he missed. Langdon with a rebound. Avery will try a three. That one is off of Buckner, out of bounds to Duke.
You mentioned about running in bodies, and you're so accurate, Mike, but the one club that matches them is Clemson.
Monday at 6:30, the men's and women's field of 64 unveiled. Chris Fowler, Digger Phelps, Dick Vitale, Quinn Buckner at 6:30. The most complete, comprehensive breakdown of the brackets in the men's selection special presented by GTE. Then it's the women's NCAA selection show presented by State Farm. Robin Roberts, Mimi Griffin, Rebecca Lobo will take you through the women's draw.
I'll tell you, take a look right here, the resume of Wake Forest. I mean, you're talking about a club right now, 15-13, and people say, forget about it. I'm going to tell you, you better not forget about it. They got a great chance because this conference deserves 5. Any other conference gets 5, they deserve 5.
Vincent Witt on the run from McIntyre, and Clemson regains the lead. Avery is in there right now to run the point.
Vincent Witt filling the lanes exceptionally well, getting in transition.
Langdon dumps it from McLeod. Oh, he's so tough inside.
I'll tell you, Mike, I've talked to NBA people. They really say they like him because he has the ability to step out and shoot the ball as well.
It's a tremendous three-point shooter.
He and Rodney Elliott, their stock this year has gone way up. You talk about players that have dedicated themselves for their senior year.
Witt trying to get inside, hangs in the lane, missed the shot. Avery, good hustle for the rebound.
Well, the last 6 games, Avery's had double figures in 4 of them.
Threw that one away, though, and Witt will get the easy one.
There's Witt, home, baby. He's home in Greensboro. Played with Brendan Haywood in high school. Lakewood K with 501 W's, and you know that number's only going to keep going up, up, and up.
Avery the air to Wojciechowski's spot, but he makes a lot of turnovers from that point guard spot. Foul on Muhammad Wooney as he prevented Burgess from getting the dunk. And I tell you one thing, against Clemson, you do not get wide open dunks.
No question about it. There's the turnover right there, Avery, and there's Witt. Nobody back, obviously, and there's the little layup. But this is a kid, if you're going to take away the dunk, put him on a free throw line, make him earn them because he struggles on that line.
34.7% on the year. He has been having a problem falling away from the line. He didn't that time, but he missed it anyway. Battier and Wojciechowski will come back in. Langdon and McLeod will go out, so Avery becomes the shooting guard for the Blue Devils.
He was 3 for 6 in the last game against Virginia on that line. I don't know your feelings, Mike. I don't like #1 versus 9 on a Thursday night. I just don't think the 9 should have a chance to even beat a #1.
Burgess, it's been a year-long struggle at the free throw line.
Well, I don't mean to have a chance, but a chance to get a bye.
Sure.
I can't see the 9 getting a chance to get a day off.
McIntyre for 3. He's got a great touch.
I'll tell you, Mike, they were brilliant yesterday. They lived up to all their billing in that second half against Wake Forest, defensively and offensively.
Burgess jump hook, wouldn't fall for him. Wooney with a rebound and McIntyre. He loves to run. Buckner couldn't come up with it, but it's out of bounds to the Tigers.
I'll tell you, you talk about a dangerous team. If you want to pick a club that's going to be dangerous in postseason, it's going to be this team in orange, baby. You watch him right there coming off that screen. Terrell McIntyre, 5'9", but a giant when the rock's in his hands.
Dick, they're 18-12. They might have 2 losses this year if they could shoot free throw.
Exactly, and if they had a healthy McIntyre, just think where they would be.
Absolutely. Johnny Miller is into the ballgame for the first time, the transfer from Temple.
Hit a big 3 with 27 seconds on the clock against NC State a week ago. Johnny Miller.
Shot clock at 8. Now it's up to McIntyre at 4. Gives it off to Miller. He'll try a long 3.
Oh,
no basket.
Hit the top. Frank Scagliotta with the call. By the way, congratulations to Scagliotta, just voted the Naismith Award recipient of the best official in America.
That's terrific, and Frank certainly deserves it. He is a wonderful official.
Great guy, too. He's
yes,
an educator,
he is.
Teacher.
This conference loaded with terrific officials. There's Frank Scagliotta.
Very physical inside. They really play the passing lanes, Clemson.
Elton Brand is back in. Here is Avery. Leans into one in the lane. Nice offensive move by Avery.
He's one of those combination guards. He can play either one of the slots. I think he's more comfortable in a scoring mode.
Right now, he is the shooting guard in there with Wojciechowski. Buckner had to alter his shot. Nice defense by the Blue Devils. Carrawell was right on top of him.
Pretty nice when you can bring a kid like Carrawell off the bench and Avery.
Avery open for 3. Brand with a rebound. A lot of contact inside, and they've got the foul against Clemson.
I'll tell the Big E, he wouldn't let them lose down here, along with the 6th man, the crowd down at Cameron Indoor Stadium. You should look at the coaching staff of Snyder, Krzyzewski, and Dawkins and Henderson. Look at Elton Brand. He's got great upper body strength. He just can't get that explosiveness from his legs right now. There he is now using that body. Gets good position inside. But he had 16 points against Carolina and wanted the ball at the end of the game.
Fascinating, during his rehab, they had him hooked up in a harness. And he was actually suspended over a treadmill, so only put about 60 pounds of weight on that foot so he could walk.
You know, Mike, Brent Musburger was saying it, I couldn't agree more. You talk about MVPs. What about the Duke medical staff for getting this kid ready to play? If they were to win the ACC tournament and our national tournament, they'd get a ring for those guys.
And hats off to Mike Krzyzewski as well. He announced that Brand was gone for the year. He didn't put any pressure on this kid to come back too early, and he didn't put the expectation on the rest of his team that all they had to do was wait for Brand.
But psychologically, it was such a big lift when they got news that he was going to be available. It gave that team such a tremendous lift mentally.
Battier commits the personal, and they really had no one to replace him, that wide body in the middle. Weidman is in for Clemson. He picked up his dribble, lost it, got it back, and almost threw it away again. Elton Brand got a hand on it.
He got a Peekskill, New York, as you said earlier.
Mike Krzyzewski just loves his awareness of the game, how hard he plays and how smart he is. Miller, what a pass.
I'll tell you, great look by Miller, and Jamison, the big O, finishes off with those big guns. Johnny Miller, good penetration.
Clemson by 3. Battier, good ball handler for his size. Battier trying to penetrate. Jamison got a piece of it. Brand, another offensive rebound.
Wojo has stopped looking for a shot, Mike. Earlier this year, he was making threes, looking for a shot. He's become almost similar a little bit to Cota, always thinking pass.
Duke has 6 offensive rebounds so far.
That's a sign of playing aggressive basketball when you're on the offensive glass.
Wojo has it back, trying to get it to Avery, and they'll set Wojo up as the shooter.
Clemson fans appreciate that defensive effort. They appreciate it. The SO Club must be jumping down there at Clemson, South Carolina.
7 seconds on the shot clock. Duke will have it when we come back. Clemson by 3.
Coming off a loss to USC, and they lost 3 straight at Pauley, and today things aren't going very well. Toby Bailey spots up, knocks down a 3-pointer. You see that lead. 31-22 as Arizona still trying to get that #1 seed. Right now, Clemson over Duke by 3, right there.
11:25 to go first half. Clemson by 3 over Duke. This is the second semifinal of the day from Greensboro, North Carolina.
We're going to watch right here some dribble penetration. Right in this area here. Freeze it. See, right there, he creates the opportunity with the jam. Gets into the lane.
Nice lob to Brand. He is clobbered by Weidman. Got the bucket anyway and drew the foul.
Elton Brand showing post ability on the inside. As you look at Rick Barnes, former head coach of Providence. Here's Wojciechowski right now. kicking it out. There's the catch. There's Elton Brand utilizing his great hands, reverse layup. He's got super hands. He catches the ball, he holds on to it.
Now keep in mind that inbounds play came with 7 seconds on the shot clock, so they got right into the offense and got the bucket. Brand misses another free throw. Duke only 1 out of 5 as a team here early.
Playing that pressure defense, been their trademark all year.
Christie couldn't hit it over Chappelle. Langdon for 3. Jamison.
Big-time rebounder. Really gets on the offensive glass. Had 11 on the glass against South Carolina in that big win. Interstate battle.
The offensive comparison so far, Duke not shooting very well.
Really struggling shooting the basketball both from the field and from the free throw line.
Chappelle got the last foul. Buckner will come in, and McIntyre will get a breather.
Mike, they didn't shoot well against Virginia. They won by 22 plus, but the bottom line is they did not shoot well. In fact, shot 38% as a team.
Miller against Wojciechowski.
Can't afford to shoot that here today and get a W against this Clemson team.
Christie for 3. Excellent range. Missed that one, though. Wojo on the run.
Brand really running the court.
Wojciechowski all the way. Missed it, but Brand had the rebound, then knocked away and plucked by Buckner.
Brand was up there in transition. Wojo missed him, didn't have a look for him. Oh, the big guy really seals off well.
Look at Wojciechowski. Goes right down on the floor to create the tie-up. Jump ball, possession arrow gives it to Duke.
I'll tell you, both these games today, you had the Carolina kids and the Maryland kids getting after it. And are they getting after it here in his second game as well? You know, you talk about a home court playing here for the regionals. This would be bigger for North Carolina than Duke. The North Carolina people out here are just amazing in terms of fans. What an advantage. That's what they're playing for North Carolina, and Duke wants to stay here as well.
Well, they have so many more alumni than Duke does.
Exactly. Well, Duke's more national, where obviously North Carolina, a great state university.
Clemson by 1, even though Duke has shot the ball so poorly from the field as well as the line. They trail by only 1.
Oh, they had a mismatch. They missed Brand inside.
Langdon fouled as he goes into the lane. They're going to call that one on Miller.
They missed right there. They had a little switch. Defensively, Jamison stepped out. The big guy, and Brand was wide open. Now watch this right here. We're going to see Jamison 32. So he's going to step out. Freeze it. Right here. He's wide open. Get him to rock, baby. Get him to rock. Oh, wow. How do you miss a big guy like that? Now, I'm blind. I have an excuse. I have one eye.
Another tie-up. Possession arrow will give this one to Clemson.
I think we're going to see a lot of possession arrow calls here today.
See a lot of bodies on the floor, I'll tell you that.
We had that game, you and I, when they had all those players foul out. I ended up playing with 4 against North Carolina. 41 fouls called on them.
It was a record.
Wojo matched up with Miller now, trying to put pressure on Miller.
Neither one of these teams will back off the way they play defense.
They trademark. That's how you win. You start there. That's going to be your #1 item.
Miller for 3 over Wojciechowski. Won't go for him. Buckner with a save.
Miller struggled all year this year shooting the basketball.
Wojo nearly got the steal. It's out of bounds to Clemson.
Michael Wood with a good call. Outstanding crew blowing a whistle in this game.
There was a product called Floor Burn. Wojciechowski could endorse it the minute he quits playing.
I'll tell you, you talk about hustle, diving on the floor, scrapping and clawing. A born coach, no doubt about it, he will be a coach.
And a tremendous point guard in college. Woney dogged by Brand.
He's become a factor, Mike. Recently, he is starting to put some points on the board, Woney off the bench.
Miller trying to penetrate. 4 on the shot clock for Buckner. It's blocked by Carrawell. Woney with a follow.
There he is, Mohamed Woney on the inside, showing his ability offensively. He gives him a little offensive spark because he can shoot the basketball.
15-12, Clemson. Travel. Carrawell asking for the foul. He won't get it.
Watch number 34 right here. See, curls in the lane. He comes to the left side. There he is, going to catch in the lane with a little left-hand layup. Mohamed Woney, number 34.
Well, you go inside against Clemson, you're taking your life in your own hands. I mean, you're going to get nailed by somebody.
Well, they're going to body up on you, no question. But Duke doesn't back down for people either. There's a guy Langdon, the Alaskan assassin.
Trajan Langdon with the quickness to make the steal, gets down to make the bucket. It's a one-point game again.
Get right in that passing lane.
Miller trying to go in
Nice
and
look.
dumps it to Iturbe.
Nice look by Johnny Miller's making some good plays. Little Miller time right there with the look to Iturbe. His brother plays at George Washington on the Mike Jarvis.
Buckner is going to be called for a push-off against Langdon. Gave him a forearm. One on Buckner. 16 foul called against Clemson. 4 have been whistled against the Blue Devils. And McIntyre's going to get back into the game for Rick Barnes.
Probably a lot quieter here than it was in that other game with Carolina because of the Carolina faithful, I believe.
Oh, it'll crank up in the second half if it stays close. Sellout crowd, of course, here in Greensboro.
Avery trying a little isolation one-on-one maneuver.
Carrawell. Rebound by Rooney. Nice clear out by Iturbe underneath. 4 rebounds for Muhammad Rooney.
Rooney done a solid job off the bench.
Miller lost control of it, just tossed that one up.
Burgess really runs the court exceptionally well for a big guy.
Avery to Langdon. Nice head fake to get free in that sweet stroke.
Nothing like having guys that can stroke the ball. Shammond Williams showed us in the first game. That touch, the ability to shoot the rock. So special.
Trajan Langdon has 7 of Duke's 16 points.
This is a good one, Mike. They're really getting after it.
Burgess and Rooney working really hard against each other inside.
No secrets, no special, just tough man-to-man defense, both clubs.
Buckner kept it alive.
Oh, nice pass. What a pass. What a pass by Iturbe. I mean, he's got great vision. You just asked Rick Pitino. He took the Kentucky press apart last year in game 1.
The junior from Spain with a brilliant touch pass.
That's his great asset, Mike, his ability to pass the basketball. He has those natural instincts and awareness. He anticipates really well. He just doesn't react. He anticipates. Is the brain trust of Duke, led by Coach K.
Just tremendous action here. Look at that pass by Iturbe to hit Christie.
Well, you know, the awareness to know that Christie's going to be on a box. That's part of their well, you know, you practice, you have that strategy. People are in certain spots, and you got to be aware where people are going to be.
Rashawn McLeod, who quit basketball when he was a sophomore in high school. He had not adjusted to the way he had grown, was very uncomfortable with himself, gave it up, ended up obviously playing again, went to St. John's, and then transferred to Duke.
Yeah, St. John's certainly would love to have him. What a great game last night, Syracuse, St. John's. I'll tell you one thing, the Big East has had so many buzzer beaters in their tournament. It's been phenomenal, the battles that have taken place. But St. John's would have loved to see this kid stay in school there. He's got a 2-year-old son, brought him out on senior day at Duke. Anthony.
Clemson with a 2-point lead and the ball. Iturbe has got a nice shooting touch, but doesn't shoot very much. Buries that one.
Well, they had a lot of balance yesterday in that game against Wake Forest. Wake came out hot, shot 61% in the first half. They shut him out in the second.
McLeod walked. We've got a timeout, 6:31 to go first half. The underdog Clemson Tigers leading the #1 team in the country. Carolina assistant coaches doing a little scouting. Clemson with a 4-point lead over favored Duke. And Dick, in that first game, those guys were just admiring the play of Shammond Williams.
Yeah, Phil Ford was sitting there, but look at Shammond. Came up big at 25 points, 10 in OT. Wanted all the big shots. We talked about him, how he's MVP of this tournament last year. Second team all ACC. A lot of people said should have been first. Well, today he was the PTPer, baby. He was a star. Flat out shot the rock. Big time. The only thing he did, he talked too much. Don't want to talk that much, Shammond. You're too good. You don't need it. You don't need it. Be like Michael. You want to be like Michael.
North Carolina with an 11-0 run in the semis since '84. Clemson has only won 1 since '62. And Duke since '92, when they won it, is 0-1 in the semifinals.
Michael talks a little bit more.
Buckner from outside, a rare long shot from Buckner. Witt had the rebound, lost it, got it back, and stepped out of bounds.
I tell you, Witt and Roney off the bench have been very active in Iturbe as well. Both teams very deep, and that's the one thing that he has, Clemson, the ability to match a bench strength with Duke. I mean, they're a deep basketball team.
They've got good athletes, and they're all very bright. They understand the game extremely well, and they play so hard. Langdon was hit by Witt. No call, and missed the shot. Witt got a piece of the ball. That's probably why.
Avery playing McIntyre now, getting the screen up on top. He's very dangerous if he gets in a lane. It's a slasher.
McIntyre with a long three against Avery. McIntyre went down after the shot. No quarter given, none asked. Iturbe got back, somehow got a hand on it. Clemson 3-on-2. Buckner.
That's just great basketball. Very unselfish, the little guy, McIntyre with the dish. He drops it off to Buckner, and Buckner certainly knows how to finalize.
Clemson with its biggest lead, up by 6.
Really playing the best I've seen there, Mike, in the games I've done involving Clemson. Very effective. Good movement, good motion, very active.
Carrawell hacked by Buckner. It was his second foul.
Here's McIntyre right now in transition. Going to give it back to him, and he's going to kick it right back to Buckner. There he is. He says, take it up for me, Buck. Hey, I'll tell you, we were talking during the break, you and I. Arizona wins the national title last year. They're 11-7, 5th in their conference. Don't believe that it couldn't happen with a team like Clemson. They are definitely capable of going on a little winning streak.
Jamison comes back in for Rick Barnes.
He's got that confident smile on the sideline, so friendly with the officials. So we're going out for dinner tonight. Can take me out.
Carrawell missed the free throw.
Armani's special. I mean, you talk about being just GQ style.
Duke has hit only 2 of 8 free throws so far. They're down by 6.
Wow.
McIntyre for a 3.
That's out of his range, though, Mike. That's too deep. 25% on that free throw line. That's not Duke basketball.
Carrawell guarded by Christie. Brand is back in there. They get him the ball low.
You got muscle against muscle right here.
Spun out. Nice defense by Jamison.
You got muscle against muscle right there. Power against power. Strength against strength.
4.5 minutes to go. First half of play. ACC semifinals.
Rick Barnes has got to really be pleased with the execution of his club.
Iturbe, they spread the
what a
floor. Iturbe can do that all day if they'll let him. He has great moves.
And he can utilize either hand. I'll tell you, they're jumping with joy. Dennis Felton, the assistant coach, up there screaming and jumping with joy.
The lead is 8. McLeod bounced it right to Jamison. Great anticipation. Then Jamison threw it to Christie, and Carrawell scored.
Chris Carrawell stepped there. Good, intelligent play by Carrawell with the steal.
Well, you have a momentary lack of concentration in this league. It's going the other way.
You know, it's really interesting. No matter what the score is at halftime, I just see Witt knocking down the 15-footer. Duke has been up to a margin of +16 at half all year and only been down twice to North Carolina, both times at halftime.
Walk. It's about 3 travels on Duke in the first half.
I lost a little of their poise right there. Got a little frustrated. Timeout right now by the Dukies.
9 turnovers overall by the Blue Devils. They trail by 8. 27-19, the Clemson Tigers. I guess those are tiger heads instead of cheese heads.
I'll tell you, John Saunders, it's heating up across America. Muscle against muscle here. But this is one guy, he just can't back away. Jamison is not going to give ground. The big guy for Clemson, most people right inside. Elton Brand physically could just dominate him.
Clemson ball with an 8-point lead, and you can see the Tigers shooting nearly 50%. Duke at 35 with 9 turnovers, and the Clemson bench again doing the job.
It's the only team that's really outscored them all year from the bench. As you see one of their bench performance right now, making a medium-range jump shot. Woney.
Muhammad Woney on the assist from Witt.
This is a big possession for Duke. They got to stop this momentum.
They're down 10. Avery, baseline, nice lean in, but he missed the shot. Wojciechowski, he'll be called for the foul as he ran into Rooney. Rooney got there first. That's a good call.
I'll tell you, Mike, what I see out here right now in the first half, I see that unbelievable execution by Clemson, but very reminiscent of the matchup against North Carolina and Chapel Hill. Duke is shooting the ball too quickly. They're not making that extra pass.
Wojciechowski will sit down with his second personal with 2:48 to go in the half. Mike Krzyzewski not wanting him to pick up his third.
See, right now, McIntyre's experience against Avery should be a plus.
Jamison missed it with a left hand. Rooney. Here he's fouled.
Where's this kid been all year, Mike? I'll tell you, the last month of the season, he has been some asset off the bench for Clemson.
He's really played in spurts, sometimes as well as Jamison and Witt. You think they're going to be terrific, then you don't see him again for a while.
Remember, these kids now went to the Sweet 16 last year against Minnesota in overtime.
Christie missed the three, got it right back and banked it in.
You're seeing why, my friends. You're seeing why this team was rated preseason #5 in America.
They are out-hustling the Blue Devils right now. They've extended the lead to a dozen.
Out-scrapping them as well.
Langdon hits the three.
And the big players step up. There's Langdon, just like Shammond Williams when they were on the ropes.
31-22, Avery trying to bother McIntyre. Mooney again over Brand. Air ball that time. Duke very good if they can run.
Nice
pass to Carrawell, and he is fouled by Mooney. Excuse me, that's on Witt.
Yeah, I think they got that on Witt, but a good job of executing right there by Duke, getting out in transition, but Carrawell didn't finish it. Avery made a good bounce pass, though, with the 45-degree angle. Look, there's Avery right now. Williams drops it to the floor. Nice bounce pass. Witt's got his back to the play, doesn't see the ball, makes contact.
Carrawell, an average free throw shooter. Duke hitting only 2 out of 8 so far, and made it 2 out of 9. Well, we kept saying that it was going to be a problem for Clemson at the free throw line, but Duke is squandering opportunities right now.
Shot 67% as a team, Duke. Certainly not super, but better than 2 for 10.
Now 2 for 11.
11, is it?
Ouch.
Wow. Next day, #1 in the nation, shooting like that on the line. Nice curl move.
Witt. Rebound to Brand.
I'll tell you, Brand getting a lot of minutes, Mike.
Avery kicks it back to McLeod for 3. Never really got himself set.
They're shooting the ball too quickly, Mike. They did that against North Carolina. That was really the criticism of Mike Krzyzewski about his club. He said we lost our poise, we lost our patience, and I see the same scenario right here.
1:37 left in the half. The lead is 9. Duke hitting 35% from the field, 20% from the line. They've got 9 turnovers. Avery with a penetration, but he can't hit it.
It's just one pass and a shot. There is no ball movement and player movement.
McIntyre back the other way. This is a big possession. If Clemson gets a bucket here.
The spacing is excellent. Clemson really playing poised and executing so well.
Shot clock at 11, and McIntyre will fire the 3. Muhammad Rooney called for the foul as he came over the back. That'll be 2 on the big guy. Coming up on the 7-Up halftime report, we'll take a look at the first game here, a real thriller in overtime, and how the other top seeds did. In Arizona, #2 with a struggle.
I'll tell you, what about Arizona if they lose 2 in a row now? Get beat, for example, today by UCLA, got beat by Southern Cal, and Kentucky goes on and wins the SEC. Can Kentucky move into a #1? What about a Connecticut moving into a #1? I mean, there's some questions that are going to be answered now with some of these magical moments that are happening in basketball.
McLeod hits the free throw, fortunately for Duke, because they haven't made many. Iturbe comes back in, and Mooney, who was played exceptionally well, will sit down with his second personal. Mooney with 4 points and 8 boards in the first half.
He was so active, he was so aggressive, and that really becomes contagious to everyone else that's playing.
McLeod makes them both 31-24. The lead's cut to 7.
Well, the one thing that Duke's pressure has not bothered the ball handling ability of Clemson with Turbe, who can handle the basketball. McIntyre. Oh, there it is. They turn it over finally. Oh, what a jam. Yes, sir.
Turbe goes headlong into the stands.
I'll tell you one thing, that could be a big momentum builder right there. The diaper dandy, Mr. Avery, with the steal, taking it to the rack, super strong, up and away for Mr. Avery.
Duke on a 7-0 run, and Dick, that was just a heck of a play.
See, this is what they've been doing well all year long, playing passing lanes, making their defense become their offense, and there's the conversion by Avery.
I'll tell you what I was afraid of at the end of that play. Clemson does not want to give you the free layup. I was afraid Turbe was going to reach out and really nail him, but it was a very sportsmanlike thing for Turbe to do, not to do what his training and instinct may have told him to do.
Exactly, Mike. He definitely seen that angle. Could have been ugly.
7-0 for Duke to get back in the game. They're within 5. They've got a 10-second difference between the game clock and shot clock.
Look at Wojciechowski coaching on the sideline. He's actually coaching on the sideline.
And Turbe goes baseline. Nice move.
I'll tell you, Mike, this is the best I've seen him play since the Kentucky game last year when they beat Kentucky.
When they spread the court and let him do some things, he's terrific. Avery against McIntyre.
Gotta watch the 5-second count.
Rashawn McLeod goes baseline. Double team, score.
I'll tell you, he really has that unique ability to drive as well as shoot the long-range jumper. What a great half for Clemson. What a super half for Clemson.
Only the 3rd time that Duke has trailed at halftime this year. The other 2 games were against North Carolina. Clemson got 18 points off the bench. They lead it at the half. Some game, John Saunders. At the half in Greensboro, North Carolina at the ACC. Clemson leading Duke 33-28. The winner will go on to play North Carolina for the ACC Tournament Championship. Welcome back, everybody. Mike Patrick, Dick Vitale, Terry Gannon is with it. If you want physical, we've got physical, and Clemson just really mauled them inside.
And if you want talent, we got talent. Both these clubs are so deep, but in this matchup here, one of the few teams that can match Duke with its bench is Clemson, and their bench has stepped up big. I mean, take a look at right here as you watch the nice little dish to Wooney. Wooney was so effective off the bench. And then in Turbe, take a look at his chance right here, going down the lane, using that left hand on that drive, kissing it on the glass. They really played so effectively in the first half, Clemson.
The statistics, Duke shooting only 38%. They missed 8 free throws. Clemson has not gone to the line, so missing free throws has been a problem. And between 3 guys, Turbe, Witt, and Wooney, they come off the bench with 18 points.
This is the 3rd time their bench has outscored Duke. And let me ask you this, Mike. You never would have thought they'd be perfect on a free throw line. No. I mean, they're perfect.
0 for 0. It's their best of the year. Wojciechowski starts the 2nd half. Duke with a little run to cut the lead nearing the end of the first 20 minutes. Trajan Langdon double teamed and blocked. Allen Spack got part of it. McIntyre got the other.
Jamison and Bland inside. Power against power in the box.
Well, that's about 340 pounds beating on each other, or 440 pounds beating on each other.
I was going to say 340. Wow, you got a scoop.
That'd be you and me.
Yeah.
Buckner with a miss.
Wojciechowski's got to get him going offensively. Got to make the extra pass.
Battier down the lane. He'll draw the foul.
Well, that time, Mike, they made the extra pass. The ball was reversed, brought to the wing by McLeod. He looked inside, got it to Battier.
And Christie is down.
Christie's been a solid defensive player for them. He really did a great job in his 2nd half last night to shut down who I would vote for. I don't know your feelings as the Rookie of the Year in the ACC, Robert O'Kelly. Played brilliantly in that first half at 19 points for Wake. And he put him on, made the adjustment. Barnes put Christie on him, and he really locked him up in the 2nd half.
Well, he's 6'6". He's got that great wingspan. He can really move.
I'll tell you, Mike, got a little update here on Antoine Jameson's status right now. You might want to share with everyone.
He's got a left groin muscle pull. The folks at Carolina said he felt something wasn't right in the pregame stretch. He didn't feel any injury yesterday or before he came to the arena. He said it got worse as the game went on and iced his leg for 30 minutes after the game. Officially, he is questionable for tomorrow's championship game.
Knowing that kid, he'll be on the floor somehow, some way. He's such a warrior. If there's any way humanly possible, you can count on Antoine Jamison responding to the bell.
Battier knocks down both free throws. It is a 3-point game.
Battier, one of those great role players, blocks shots, does a tremendous job taking charges. I always call him a typical John Wooden player. Would love him at UCLA when he was there, that kind of player.
Buckner picked up his dribble, needed some help.
Wojciechowski trying to deny the ball to McIntyre. Doesn't want to handle it.
Buckner inside. Brand with a rebound. He and Buckner collide.
They wanted a foul on Brand. Thought he swung the elbow against Buckner. Wojo was in complete denial that last possession, not allowing McIntyre to touch the ball. See, Duke's starting to make the extra pass. I bet Mike really addressed them about that in the locker room.
If there's anybody you want to make an adjustment at halftime, it's Mike Krzyzewski. McLeod down the lane. He's fouled on the way in. No basket.
Interesting story today, Mike. What coaches do at halftime and pregame. Really shared some comments I really believed in. John Feinstein, who did a great job with his book about the ACC, the March for a Championship, talked about what coaches do, and Mike Krzyzewski believes in very little on a blackboard. As you see the dunk, good execution. Battier with the score. He said, I don't believe in putting a lot of stuff on a blackboard. I believe in certain key words. Focus, maybe courage, maybe heart, maybe Duke basketball.
They got all those. They cut the lead to 1. Jamison and Brand, boy, talking about going after each other. Buckner got it inside. Can't get the roll. Langdon with a rebound. Hard to believe it could get more physical, but it is.
Wojo really starting to get them to execute, being a little coach on the floor, a little general, running the attack. There's Brand, wants the rock in the lane.
Kicks it outside, the three-pointer spins out from McLeod.
See, he doesn't have that quickness to explode once he's in the lane to get right to the basket with it against the strength of a guy like Jamison.
Here's the double team on McIntyre. Gets it to Jamison. He's way out of his range, though, and Brand can recover. Iturbe bumped by Langdon. Syracuse and Connecticut, the top 2 seeds, survived all those upsets in the Big East, and the AT&T Big East Championship comes your way tonight at 8 o'clock. Hope you'll join us for that one.
I'll tell you, Connecticut, Jimmy Calhoun, what a job he's done in that program. 4 of the last 5 years, he's won the regular season Big East Championship.
McIntyre for 3. McLeod gets it to Wojciechowski. Duke again with a chance to regain the lead.
Wojo like a traffic cop out there. McLeod wants the ball inside. Want to play a little two-man game. McLeod and Langdon. Buckner matched up with Langdon.
McLeod hangs in the lane, missed the shot. Brand kept it alive. Basket and the foul.
I'll tell you, it's so nice having that big guy on the inside to have that physical presence. They had to play without him, and they were becoming more and more very similar to last year's club, which was a perimeter-oriented team. See, look at that big guy inside. There's McLeod with the shot. Oh, it's so beautiful to have a guy about 260 on the inside with great hands. And there's Mr. Brand knowing how to convert.
The foul was on, who, was it Wooney? Muhammad Wooney picked up his 3rd foul, and Brand completes the 3-point play. It is Duke by 2. They have come out in the second half with a renewed intensity.
I tell you, they've made it happen with their defense, has really stepped up, and their execution offensively with the extra pass.
A 7-0 run for the top-ranked team in the country.
They're really getting after it defensively.
Buckner blocked by Carrawell.
They're really coming after him. The tenaciousness on the defensive end has been their trademark all year. They've utilized their defense as an offensive weapon.
They'll get Battier back in the ball game. McLeod will get a breather.
There's Buckner right now setting the screen. Everywhere he goes, there's alertness to him. Look at the rotation right over the block. Carrawell.
Buckner has missed all 4 of his shots in the second half.
Carrawell's played him head-to-head, who's a tremendous defensive player.
Iturbe, a lot of contact, no whistle, he hit the bucket.
He's making a lot of big shots, Mike. He's come up big for Clemson here this afternoon.
Iturbe ties it at 35. Langdon with a 3, what a shot! Oh.
Trajan Langdon, sweet and smooth, the Alaskan assassin from downtown.
He is so ready to shoot once he comes around that screen.
All ACC 2 years in a row.
Tell you what, there's not a lot of finesse out there right now, boy. This is hand-to-hand combat. McIntyre with a miss, and Brand is clobbered by Jamison as he got the rebound.
And Elton Brand really stepping it up, showing a lot of alertness on the inside.
And that's 3 on Jamison, Dick. Yeah, that's a big foul.
Yeah, 3 Jamison, 3 on Loney.
I'm Terry Gannon with you. The Blue Devils taking a 3-point lead here in the second half. Everything on the inside, though, very difficult for Elton Brand today. When he went out with a foot injury, he was the Blue Devils' leading scorer earlier in the year. Today, it's been difficult. This was the one opportunity in the first half where he was open, and they missed him. Harold Jamison, 6'8", 250 pounds, getting help from Weidman inside, too. There's just no room for Brand to operate. He's kicked it out for a 3-point opportunity in the second half. That didn't work. He went to the offensive glass, and he got a bucket. It has been few and far between for Brand, though. He has been part of this second half run, though, Mike.
Terry, you know, when Brand and Jamison are in the lane together, there's no room for anybody else.
That's over 500 pounds. I'll tell you one thing, I know Terry would stay on the outside and shoot the perimeter J and not take it to the rack against him.
He was a smart player. And a good one.
And a good-looking guy. If I only had his hair, I'd be a TV star.
Wojciechowski brings the ball down. The lead is Duke by 3. Wojo with a rare shot. Brand tries for the offensive rebound, but it's out of bounds to Clemson.
But I'll tell you one thing about Brand. Before it's all over, he's going to have a double-double.
Yeah, that's right.
He will have a double-double today on a day that has not been easy, as Terry said, on the inside because of the presence of James.
Mooney, Witt, and Weidman are in for Rick Barnes' Clemson Tigers.
Weidman's an experienced player. He's got that big body. He's a space eater.
Iturbe for 3. Got it for tie.
He's having a big day, Mike. He's having a big day, just like he did last year. His special moment was against Kentucky.
Iturbe averages 5 points a game. He has 13 today. Wojo left alone, doesn't want the shot.
Tried to set up his teammate.
Langdon will take it. Brand.
Push by Brand. Push by Brand.
Elton Brand commits his second personal. In this game, when you see somebody left all alone in the lane, somebody's done something wrong.
Exactly. Somebody shoved somebody out of the way. There's Iturbe getting that good look. Look at the backspin, the rotation. Look at Weidman inside now. He and Brand going at it. Brand says, get out of my way. But the refs are right there. The Zebras, Hartzell with the call.
Iturbe has hit his last 6 shots for Clemson. McIntyre.
Nice pass.
Weidman got it.
What a great play by the creator. That's innovative and creative ability. He's an all-time citizen. I mean, that guy created that. What an inventor. Terrell McIntyre made that happen.
Clemson regains the lead, and when McIntyre is healthy, Clemson really cooks on all cylinders. Wojo for 3. Weidman with a board.
Did a great job using his body and getting good position on the inside.
Wojciechowski looks very tentative taking those shots, although he has become a very good outside shooter.
They're very hesitant shooting the ball in the latter part of the season.
Loose ball. Here comes Carrawell on the run. Turn to Iturbe around a couple of times and score.
I tell you, bring a kid like that off the bench. That's a big-time player, no question about it. Carrawell is such an experienced player, a winner.
Tied at 40, 13-37 and counting from the ACC semifinals.
I tell you, this has been big-time basketball here this afternoon. Legitimate teams that have a chance to do something special at the NCAA tournament time.
And this has been a great officiating job, too. In both games, they have let them play.
Oh, Hartzell's done a great job. So is Wood and Scagliotta.
Witt with that great jump step, but then he missed the shot.
Witt matched up now with Langdon. Matchup so important here.
Langdon down the lane.
What a great drive by Trajan Langdon. He wants to come out. He gave a little signal, but a nice drive by Trajan.
Trajan Langdon leads Duke in scoring this afternoon. He has 15. He's tired right now.
Yeah, they're getting him out. Chappelle, I believe, will be coming in for him.
Iturbe hesitates at the baseline, blocked by Brand, but fouled before that by Carrawell.
You're going to watch little Terrell McIntyre get right in the seam of the defense, attack the gap, dribble, penetration, kicks it off, and there's Weidman with the score off the glass. I'll tell you, Dicker alluded to it earlier about Michigan, and they certainly fall in the category with teams like Clemson and Maryland, teams that are so dangerous who can deja vu it just like Arizona did last year when they were 11-7. As you look at that bench strength.
That was Clemson's first free throw of the day. Iturbe made it. He is a 63% shooter. Clemson is a team 61%. They have basically been horrid all year long.
Well, especially in those games, 5 points and under 7 times. They have went to the losers' locker room shooting 61% in nail-biters and nail-ox time special.
Iturbe hit both of those, though. He has 15 points on the day.
They were 11 for 15 last night against Wake Forest.
Avery and Wojciechowski are the guards. Chappelle has come in at a forward.
They opened up the floor, trying to get a little one-on-one. Showing a set, trying to get a little dribble penetration in the lane.
McLeod got it back to Pattier, knocked away. He'll save it. Wojo for 3. Nope.
Wide open. You know somebody went to the deck.
Weidman will get the foul underneath. Number 2 on Weidman.
All the expectations, Mike, with Clemson was the fact they returned all their players, won 23 games last year, and went to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament before losing to Minnesota, who went to the Final Four.
Duke calls the timeout. I still say if McIntyre was healthy, they would probably be back in that situation.
Oh, no doubt about it. You take away the engine. I mean, he's the engine that makes them go, the little guy. He's their catalyst.
Mike Krzyzewski upset about, I'm not sure if it was the last situation or not, but he's talking to the officials, letting them know what he thinks about it.
He's such an intense competitor. Keeps a lot on the inside, but then when a moment comes, he'll let his feelings out.
Championship week continues. At 6 o'clock, we'll have the A-10 Final Four, GW against Xavier. Neither team has won the A-10 championship. And at 8, Syracuse and Connecticut, the 2 highly ranked teams who will go for the Big East title, UNLV and New Mexico. The Runnin' Rebels will get to play on their own home floor, and then at 12:30 in the morning, the Big Sky, Montana State and Northern Arizona. Another foul. Let's see who picks this one up. Is it Weidman again? It is.
It was Weidman or Woney? Might have been Woney.
It's on Woney. It's his 4th.
Spicer not running the guy in to get him out of there.
Tied at 42.
Cloud trying to sit in the box inside.
And here comes Iturbe back in the game. They'll get Woney out.
Like showing all that basketball on ESPN tonight. I mean, I got to run to a room. Are you kidding me? All those great games. Hey, Vegas, what a story. Billy Bano beating Fresno State and Jerry Tarkanian last night, beating Utah. The question is, do they have to beat New Mexico tonight? I think they do, even though they won and got to the final to get in the tournament.
McLeod with a line drive jump shot. He is fouled.
Clemson faithful, a lot of orange in this place.
Foul was on Weidman, his 3rd.
I tell you one thing, you got to donate a lot of money to get those tickets, Mike.
Yes, you do.
To get the right to buy those tickets. You and I get free tickets, man, and we sit at courtside. And we even get a check for this.
We get a check? That's the part they left out of my contract.
I better get one because my wife was at the mall all day while I was in the arena here yesterday.
Rashawn McLeod hits the free throw.
Look at this guy right here. I mean, look at this Tiger wacko. McLeod, what a year he's had, as you said a little bit earlier in the telecast. Leading scorer for them in ACC action. Over 17 a game.
And a tremendous rebounder.
Played at St. Anthony's for Bob Hurley. Anytime you can get basketball from people like Hurley and people like Krzyzewski, wow, you're lucky.
Right there, hold. Right there.
They're not going to let him
tighten up the officiating right now. And Chappelle will pick up a personal.
They're doing it on both sides, though, which is really good, Mike. It's not a one-way situation. Mike Wood with a good call. He's saying, Chappelle, you got to get your hands off him. You can't. I mean, he's holding. I mean, is there any doubt? I mean, that's a good call. I mean, he's mugging him.
11:54 to go in the game for the right to meet North Carolina for the title.
Come back against UCLA. They move the ball around nicely. Terry finds Donnell Harris, and he just has the easy dunk. But back come the UCLA Bruins. Baron Davis drive with a miss. J.R. Henderson goes up, knocks it in. He hits the deck, though. It took a while before he got up. We'll try and keep you up to date on his condition. Mike and Dick.
Well, it looks like as good a game as we have here. It's 44-42, Duke over Clemson. These games have been contested so hard, players just go flying out of bounds all the time, and that puts some of our camera guys in jeopardy. One in particular has taken 3 big hits in 2 games. It's Larry Faircloth. Larry's got a target on the back of his chair, and they've been going right through him to the chair.
I tell you,
Larry gets combat pay for this one.
Yeah, you should get double pay. I mean, are you kidding me? Come on, Larry. We're going to take a collection and help you out. You deserve more cash, baby. Hey, right now, Buckner's 2 for 10 and McIntyre 1 for 7. Yet they're right here in the ball game, only down a deuce. That tells you other people have stepped up big time.
Weidman kept it alive. He's tied up by Battier. Clemson will get the ball on the alternating possession.
If you would have been able to tell me that Buckner and McIntyre together would be 3 for 18, and that they would only be down a deuce, I would say, wow, you're wacky.
Miller is in there with McIntyre, so they have 2 guys who can stroke the 3 at guard. Although Miller has really struggled with that aspect of his game.
He's had so many injuries from right out of the gate before the season even started, Johnny Miller. They double it up.
McIntyre, Weidman. That's partially blocked by Battier. Fight for the rebound, Avery.
He hesitated on a shot rather than just putting it on a glass.
Oh, Weidman's not a scorer. McLeod backs in on a Turbay. Weidman with a rebound.
Good job of rebounding by Weidman, using that big body inside.
Nothing uncontested.
Oh, they missed Buckner. Had him a little bit earlier. That's where he really operates so well, Buckner, when his back's to the basket.
15 on the shot clock. Miller trying to drive. 10:55 on the game clock.
Solid man-to-man defense. Pressure on the ball, deny on the wing, help in the lane.
Bad pass, and it's out of bounds to Duke.
Also, they missed a little walk-in violation, I thought, right there by Buckner.
10:46 to go. Duke by 2.
Look at this right here. 39% for Duke. Langdon with 15 big points. Duke with 9 turnovers.
But they have not committed any this half. We played nearly 10 minutes. And they've shot the ball much better. Avery for 3. Avery knocked to the ground after the miss. McLeod with a follow. No bucket, but he's fouled.
Good job by McLeod to come up with that offensive rebound on a Brick City, USA shot by Mr. Avery.
Foul was on McIntyre. That's his first.
You know, Mike, the last time Duke won the ACC tournament was 1992. That was the year they went back-to-back with the national title. You talk about Arizona, certainly a team, as you look at the brain trust there. David Henderson, Mike Krzyzewski showing that ring. Look at that ring. Look at that ring. Look at that ring. That's what everybody's playing for. Everybody starts tomorrow chasing that. 64 teams will line up and tip off for that ring. I feel there's about a dozen that have a legit shot to win 6 games in a row. There are a lot of clubs that can win 2 and get to the Sweet 16, but 6 in a row, about a dozen clubs.
McLeod has hit 6 out of 7 from the line. Duke now over 50% as a team. They've hit now 11 of 19. After a terrible start.
Yeah,
and they're up by 4.
They have stepped it up. Right now, Clemson needs a bucket. They got to break this little momentum and this little swing over to the Duke side. Now, who's got to step up? You got to step up if you're Mr. Buckner, a senior and an experienced player and a big-time winner.
The big scorer today has been a Turbay.
Yeah, Turbay's come up big. Loney's had some good points off the bench.
Turbay leans into one and hit it.
I'll tell you, when you're on a roll, a hot player can carry a club. He keeps them in the game.
Ikara Turbay with 17. Avery with the answer at the other end.
He's going to become a big-time scorer in a Duke uniform. He really is. I don't know if he'll ever adjust to the role of being a typical point guard. All of the point guards that had at Duke, like Amica and Snyder, and the people that have played there, Hurley.
Buckner hangs in the lane. That's what he does best.
Well, that's what great players do. They respond when your club needs you, and he's responding right now with a big play.
48-46 Duke. McLeod.
Oh, what a
no call, and Mike Krzyzewski exploded off the bench. McLeod was just tackled on that one.
I can't blame him right there, Mike.
Buckner kicks it out to Miller for three. Got it. They got the lead.
Might need a timeout right here. Might need a timeout right here. Yes, sir. There's the 22nd timeout. Get the TO, baby. The Dukies get the TO.
Mike Krzyzewski was absolutely livid with no call. And I don't blame him. I thought Iturbe just made the tackle.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, he looked like he could play there in a Clemson Tiger football field down at Death Valley with that play. Now, take a look right here. There's no foul here. I mean, come on now. Come on now. I mean, what about this? You got to blow this. You got to blow this. I mean, he just took him to the deck. My.
You get 2 points for a takedown, don't you?
Wow, WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan.
Mike Krzyzewski is still on fire. Over #1 Duke, and Dick, again, it's the Clemson bench done the job.
Yeah, they really have stepped up big time. Iturbe's been so much of a factor in this game. It's hard to believe he averaged 5 points a game during the season, Mike. They're clearing out, and there's Johnny Miller, little Miller time. Knocks down the trifecta. That's what they wanted him from the day he transferred from Temple.
The rest of the team outside of Buckner and McIntyre really doing the job. A 32-point contribution off the bench, and Duke turns it over.
Good defense by Clemson, forces that turnover.
Buckner will bring it up. 9 minutes to go in the game. Good defense inside. McLeod had it knocked away, but he is fouled, and the foul is on Miller. And Rick Barnes is yelling at Miller.
Rick Barnes intense on that sideline. Former West Point cadet, Captain Krzyzewski. Barnes coached at George Mason as well. Coached under Gary Williams. As you see the hack job right here. As soon as you throw that hand in, as soon as you slap that hand in, that whistle inevitably is going to be blown.
Well, check it. They gave the foul to Buckner. That's his third.
Yeah, the second one rather than the first one.
Yeah.
Giving it to either. Take your choice.
So McLeod, who has been almost letter perfect from the free throw line, 8 out of 9.
He's
ties it at 49.
So many big games. At 27 against NC State, 25 against Florida State. He's had so many special moments. Had the great second half against North Carolina in the comeback.
In a seesaw battle, Duke regains the lead as Christie will come back in. He was hurt earlier in the ball game. Looks like he's all right. And Buckner will sit down with those 3 personal fouls. He's got the knee wrapped.
He can stroke the long-range jumper, and he also can play on a defensive end with those long arms. Christie. Play the 3-guard setup now, using Christie as a wing.
Iturbe open for 3, goes in for the 2. That was a great screen out by Wideman.
Wideman did a great job to clear it out, but Iturbe playing like a star today, Mike. Playing like an absolute star.
It's an 8 shots in a row. Clemson regains the lead. Iturbe is going to be called for a foul on this one, holding McLeod. That's 3 on Iturbe.
In his last 8 shots, what a moment. Here he is, look at this. He gets out Brandon loose something. Whoa, and look at Wideman clearing out the lane for him. I'll tell you, Wideman did a great job of clearing out for him, but Iturbe with that good fake. Look at those, did it 19 points, averaging 5.2.
Has a career high, the best he had ever done before, 17. The best this year was 15.
That's what's so special coming up in the NCAA tournament. New stars will be born, rising stars in coaching. Guys like, for example, well, we got Welch down there at Iona, a guy to watch. First time they're getting into the tournament since '85 when Pat Kennedy was there. And they produced Jimmy V, they produced Kennedy, and now Tim Welch.
McLeod has hit 10 out of 11 free throws. Clemson's been whistled 10 times in the second half. Duke 4. That reflects the physical nature of their defense as much as anything.
Exactly. I tell you, McLeod, that's nice when you can send one of your key players like a McLeod or a Langdon to the line, and you know that they got a great opportunity to convert.
McLeod gets a breather as Battier checks in. It's a 1-point lead, this time in favor of Duke. It's really gone back and forth.
Interesting in that matchup now. Battier's going to be playing at Turbay. Battier, known for his great defensive ability. How good? Mike Krzyzewski says, I believe he will become the best defensive player I have ever coached.
That takes up a lot of great names, doesn't it?
There, here he is, trying to get over the top of the screen. Look at this. Weidman using that big body, trying to free a Turbay. They want to go to the hot player.
We've hit the 8-minute mark.
There he is. Oh, he made the extra pass.
Weidman with a left hand.
Turbay should have shot it. He's made his last 8 in a row.
You make 8 in a row, keep jacking them up there.
Jacking that baby up. Get the rock to the rack.
And Weidman not really comfortable shooting the basketball.
Here's where Brand had a little rest now. I got to believe they're going to go to Brand. He was able to sit down, and now they're going to try to get him at a good angle inside. There he is, posting up strong, trying to drop it into him.
Shot clock at 6. Wojo blows right down the lane. Got the bucket and the foul.
And that's the guy that Mike Krzyzewski said, if I'm going to war and I'm going to battle, and he's a former guy in the Army, the military, Mr. Krzyzewski, he said, I want Wojo on my side. There he is, a little one-on-one, a little isolation. He makes the turn, beats McIntyre to the goal. Miller, rather. You're right, Mike. Miller. Well, I get a turnover on that, but I get an alibi and excuse because I have the one eye, baby.
The first field goal of the game for Steve Wojciechowski. He will go to the line trying to complete a 3-point play, and all at once Duke is up by 3.
You know, it's amazing. Mike Krzyzewski said, I'm going to let my daughter Jamie, who's a point guard from Durham Academy, plays high school basketball. Look at the box score of Wojo against Carolina. 11 assists, 1 turnover, and only 1 point, yet he was the star.
Yeah.
You don't have to shoot to be a star.
And he comes down court, slapping the floor, trying to fire him up.
Jameson did that today for North Carolina, emulating Wojo. Oh, there's
Wojo with a steal, and he grabbed by Buckner. That's going to be 4 on Buckner, and a really silly foul by the senior.
Really silly foul, and all the Duke faithful stepping up and showing. Look at this kid. Look at this coach. Coach Wojciechowski. Hey, I'm putting out a bulletin now. All you ADs looking for a coach, steal him before Michael K gets him. Wojciechowski's going to be a heck of a coach. This guy's born to be a coach. Look at him. Look at this enthusiasm. You wouldn't want to play for a guy like this? Come on, ADs, give the kid a call. Hire him at 23. Bobby Knight got hired at a real young age at West Point.
4th foul on Buckner. They'll leave him on the floor with 7:11 to go. Duke with a 4-point lead. Wojciechowski trying to extend it and does.
You know, I agree. Right now, well, he's taking Buckner out. I agree with their philosophy. Sometimes when you talk about a star player and you're playing a team that's favored over you, not to let it get away by taking the star out.
Duke has hit all 13 free throws in the second half from the line. Missed this one, and Brand will be called for the foul over the back.
Yeah, not a good play by Elton right there, climbing the back on a free throw situation. But, you know, that's reminiscent, making those free throws, similar to what NC State did to Carolina when they made 25 in a row in the second half. Well, you make that charity line become your friend. What a bonus that is.
And it's one of Clemson's worst enemies.
Exactly.
McIntyre for 3. Brand with a rebound.
Just that big body. Doesn't have the great lift, but has that great body. Don't want to foul that guy.
Wojciechowski for 3. Turbay with another big rebound.
Turbay has really played big time here today.
He has been huge in this game. The lead is 5, 6:34 to go.
He's really earned the respect of the Dukies by playing Battier on him.
And Battier with a foul on Jamison, just trying to prevent the big guy from getting the easy slam, and he did.
Not a bad play, because Jamison is not really super at that free throw line.
Well, that's very kind, Dick, because he's 49-3 from the line.
I'm trying to be kind because he's a great kid. I met his little brother, Little O, yesterday. As you look at Buckner, I don't think they can waste much time before they get Buckner back in. I mean, you got to go down firing with all your best weapons.
Jamison clanks the first one between the back of the rim and the glass. McLeod will come back in, and Battier goes out. Battier with 4 fouls.
Well, the big question now is, can Clemson spoil the big party that everyone wants? Round 3, Carolina and Duke tomorrow afternoon. Or will it be Clemson there instead? It's coming down to winning time now. The last 6 minutes, baby.
2 big misses for Jamison.
Jumping inside.
Carrawell got it back. Put it up again.
So strong physically, Carrawell from out of St. Louis. Makes the big play, super strong. Notice what they're playing now, Mike. Look at the experience on the floor other than Brand.
Duke has taken its biggest lead at 58-51. McIntyre, foul.
Big possession right there, and McIntyre responds with the drive down the lane. What intensity and emotion on this floor. There's the next star in coaching. I'll tell you, Tommy Abaca doing a great job. Quinn Snyder, look at Wojo. Look at the intention. Look at this here. Look at the intensity. Concentration, the focus. Look at the eyes. The eyes watching the midsection. Look at it working against McIntyre. It's a coach's dream when you got kids that play that hard.
Now McIntyre is a very good free throw shooter, but he misses that one, the front end of a 1-on-1. Turbe trying to keep it alive. Clemson is at 2 out of 5 as a team. That was a front end of a 1-on-1. Those are huge.
And that's just a nightmare for Rick Barnes all year. You can only do so much as a coach. He's done a heck of a job to bring some excitement to this program.
McLeod fouled on the way in. No chickadee travel. 5:33 to go. Clemson has been stuck on 51 for quite a while. 3 minutes without a point.
And that's that Duke stifling defense, which has been their key all year long.
Spread the court a little bit. Miller and McIntyre in there together. Miller hit his last 3.
He's capable, very streaky, but he's capable of making that big shot like he did against NC State last week.
Witt got by Carrawell. Carrawell blocked it from behind.
Vincent Witt really stepped up big with 17 on a board against South Carolina. Would have had to play without McIntyre. It's a big win for them in an intrastate battle. Barnes versus Fogler. There's Witt, the slasher from out of Greensboro. Played high school right here at Dudley High School. Looked like he had all ball, but I guess there was some
Well, Carrawell did, but McLeod got the foul in front of him. Witt will go to the line. He's about an average free throw shooter, 66%.
Got a lot of fans here. He's got a lot of friends, family, all in the house.
Turbe will get arrested at the 5:10 mark, along with Weidman. And Witt trying to make it a 5-point game, and did not. Miller hustled after the ball, nearly got it, but saved by Carrawell.
Like just as advertised, it's been a big-time doubleheader here today. 4 Goliaths really hooking up. You haven't heard the end of these clubs. Maryland and Clemson and Duke and North Carolina. We'll be making a lot of copy in the newspapers over the next couple of weeks.
McLeod with a shot clock at 13. Lost it on the way in. Wojciechowski to save. Shot clock is now down to 8. Wojo with a runner. Missed everything. And it's out of bounds to Clemson.
Good job by Clemson on the defensive end.
Well, you just look at the players walking up and down the court. Johnny Miller, for one, is really gulping for air.
Oh, they're physically exhausted. I mean, there's absolutely a lot of emotion being spent on that floor.
McIntyre got the bucket and the foul.
What a great play by the little guy. He hasn't had the big day scoring today because they've been really focusing and concentrating on him defensively. But he comes up with a big play here. He goes, Wojo, anything you can do, I can do better. A little change of direction. Wojo says, what? And it goes down. The little left-hander.
Dick, that's 4 on Wojciechowski.
A nice little left-handed try. 5'9", bench presses over 300 pounds. It's hard to believe.
Wojo will have to sit down. McIntyre cannot convert the three-point play. He's their best at the line, almost 80% as a team. They've hit only 3 out of 8.
Wow. Rick Barnes says, what's going on?
Same thing has been going on all year. McLeod against Looney, facing up. Did not get the roll. McIntyre saved it.
That shot's been falling for him all year long.
McIntyre for 3. Witt. Oh, Witt got away with a push. He really moved Langdon out of there. Miller for three. Oh, Jamison offensive rebound, and he is fouled by Langdon.
I'll tell you, they're doing one heck of a job on the glass, getting position. They're allowing contact, but they're going after it.
3:44 to go in the game. It's a 4-point Duke lead.
There's Quinn Snyder. He's to the left of Mike Krzyzewski, to our right on the screen. The assistant has an MBA, a law degree, and he wants to coach.
All free throws from here on in are 2-shot fouls.
49% on a free throw line, Mr. Jamison.
He's missed 3 straight.
Now here you're coming down the stretch. You're playing the #1 team in America, Mike. You're in a war. You got to make these count to spring the upset. That's what happened when NC State upset North Carolina. They made them count. The formula has to almost be perfect to beat the great team.
Jamison missed all 4 free throws within the last 5 minutes.
Wow.
Clemson 3 out of 10. That's what has killed them all year long.
Hey, you've said it. You told me before the show. You said if it gets close, they'll be in trouble on that line. Look at her opening up the court, Mike.
It has happened to them so many times.
Trying to get Avery a little one-on-one.
Avery forced that one up, but got the foul from McIntyre. McIntyre arguing that Avery pushed them off, and he's got a point.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to get a technical right now. All you need an official to slap a T, and you're out of the game totally.
McIntyre, the junior that nobody wanted because of his size.
There it is now, Avery in a little one-on-one maneuver. Has a tendency at times as a freshman to take some bad shots. I thought he pushed off a little.
Out of Augusta, Georgia, hits the free throw.
What a difference. Jamison goes down and misses 4 in a row. Avery comes up the other way and converts. You think that'll change the complexion of a game?
Duke in the second half, 14 out of 15 from the line. Clemson 3 out of 10. Clemson did not shoot a free throw in the first half.
I mean, they're up 5, Duke, and you just read off numbers that are unbelievable.
Avery missed a second one, but tipped outside and kept in the Blue Devils' possession.
Well, if there's a quality miss, that's certainly one to get that some time off the clock.
That was so bad, it was good.
Yeah, manage the clock. Now they go foul line extended to try and get a backdoor layup or a clear out. So you notice everybody's foul line extended. Nobody back in the 3-second area.
3 minutes to go in the game. Duke by 5, playing for the right to meet North Carolina tomorrow. Shot clock at 6.
Also the right for #1 seed to play on this floor.
Avery forced that one up, knocked out of bounds by Witt. There's only 2 on the shot clock.
I'll tell you, he is not a kid that'll shy from the big moment.
Oh, no. Timeout on the court. 2:47 to go. Duke by 5.
UCLA, they were down throughout most of the game. Michael Dickerson, though, gives them the lead here on the drive. No foul on the play. Arizona's lead right now is 3 with 5 seconds left. Meantime, coming up, Shante Rogers and GW. They go up against Xavier in the Atlantic 10 championship game. It's coming up next.
John, isn't Shante fun to watch? He's a terrific player for GW. 5-point lead for Duke. Clemson dying again at the free throw line in ACC losses this year. One time after another, they have just missed free throws that could win it for them in close games. They are doing it again today, and it's not just a missed opportunity. Psychologically, you've got to be destroyed by the disappointment of doing it one after another.
Yeah, emotionally, it's such a letdown. All those numbers there total less than 62%.
Langdon off the inbounds with 2 seconds on the shot clock, and McLeod will be called for a shove going for the rebound.
I mean, you're right now, Jamison. You know you've missed 4 in a row. You're almost shy going to the line. You almost don't want to get to that free throw line.
Oh, you'd be terrified. Jamison has missed all 4 tries at the line here in the second half. He's a better shooter than that. 49%, but not much. Clemson just shy of 62% on the year. Today, 30. It's one thing to be as bad as you have all year long. It's another thing to be worse.
Oh, he converts right there. They cheer with joy, all the orange.
59-55, 2:44 left.
Such a nice kid, too, and you get a chance to spend some time with Jamison. Really a nice kid.
Made them both. Yes, 2 out of 6.
That was big right there for his confidence, because I got a feeling he's going back to that line again before this baby's over.
Wojciechowski matched with McIntyre.
Now remember, Langdon is a 90% shooter on the free throw line. So if you're Clemson, you don't want to get him on that line. And if you're Duke, you want to get him some touches here late in the game.
This is Carrawell into the lane. Did not get the roll. Clemson could tie here with a three.
Didn't like that possession if I were Mike Krzyzewski. Trajan Langdon had no touches.
McIntyre penetrating. Wojciechowski playing him with four. Witt dumps it off to Jamison. No bucket. There was a foul before the shot, and it's offensive.
Again, Battier stepping in, taking the charge. Mike, he leads Duke in taking charges. Shane Battier has been so effective defensively all year long.
What a huge play that is.
Watch number 31. See him right there, number 31. He leads the club. They chart that. They keep numbers on that. A big-time play. All the little things that lead to getting to the winner's circle. That's what a winner does. Look at the offensive rebounds. That means you're playing aggressively. Number one, steals second, first and block shots, charges taken first. That's how you win basketball games.
That was a big turnaround there. They don't get the bucket. 2 minutes to go. Wojciechowski and Duke are up by 3.
Carroll really handling the ball here late in the game quite a bit. I would like to get it if I were Mike Krzyzewski in the hands of Langdon. He's got to step out and want the ball, like right there.
8 on the shot clock. Miller against Langdon. Oh, there's a foul on Langdon. Johnny Miller did a great job.
I'll tell you what, a great call by Mike Wood right in front of Mike Krzyzewski, and there's no argument out of the Duke coaching staff. Great call by Mike Wood. Take a look right here. He's in triple threat position. He wants to stare him down and take him to the goal. He wants to take him to the rack. Johnny Miller's not going to give any ground. And there's the contact. No doubt about it with the shoulder.
1:30 left. McIntyre trying to penetrate and can't.
Remember, will it be Carolina and Duke, or will it be Clemson?
Miller. Fouled by Brand. That'll be 4 on Elton Brand.
Everybody that's been waiting for that matchup in Carolina and Duke for part 3 is right now. Their hands are churning. The mailbox is coming out. They're chewing it.
Well, Maryland and Clemson came to Greensboro to spoil that thought. They want to be in the final game. Miller got the first.
They did last 3, Mike.
A 2-point lead for the #1 team in the land.
Remember the battle between these clubs, almost 120 minutes, and it's only been 6 points to separate them. Think about that, 120 minutes of action, and there's only been 6 points to separate them.
Duke by 1 with the ball.
Now they want Langdon to handle it. They're hoping for the foul.
Wojciechowski open for 3.
Oh, what a big trifecta by the little guy. Oh, Wojciechowski responds big time.
Steve Wojciechowski saved his first 3-point shot for 1 minute to go in the semifinals. He drains the 3. 7 points, 4 assists, no turnover.
No turnovers against that kind of defense. Hey, Mike, what a reversal of roles. Langdon penetrating, and Langdon becoming the guy to give the rock up, and Wojciechowski doing the scoring. I mean, this little guy's been awesome, baby, with a capital A for the Dukies all through his career. They said he was too small to play here. They said he didn't have enough of speed. They said there's no way. Howard Garfinkel, a 5-star fame, said forget about it. I had him on my camp, and he can play. And there's no doubt about it. The Garf is right again.
How can you not love watching that kid play basketball?
He's an example, a role model for every kid out there who thinks you can't play this game if you're not 6'9".
4-point lead, 50 seconds to go. McIntyre.
And there's another little guy coming right back in his face saying, Wojo, that's for you, baby. He said, that's for you. Anything you can do, I can do better.
47.6 seconds left, so Duke will not be able to play for the last shot. Got a lot more basketball coming your way.
Can't believe it, partner. Can't believe it.
All right, John, 47.6 seconds to go here. It is Duke by 1 over Clemson. The teams have just exchanged 3-pointers, the last one by Terrell McIntyre.
Well, remember, Clemson's going to get the ball back, Mike, no matter what, with 47 ticks on the clock. With the shot clock at 35, they're certainly going to get the ball back. There's McIntyre. Jamison made a nice screen to make that happen. See, there's the tight look right up and down. Look at Jamison. See, Wojo can't get over the screen. Does a great job of reading the screen. See, a lot of players can't read the screen. McIntyre read the screen so well and got free for that jumper. Look at those brackets. Will it be Duke? Will it be Clemson next to the Tar Heels?
McIntyre was 2 for 11 from the floor before that shot. Wojciechowski had not shot well before his 3. The clutch guys come up at crunch time. Full court pressure.
Can Duke hang on 3 times against Clemson? 3 times? I mean, these kids in Clemson have battled them twice. 81-80 the first time, second time 70-66.
About a 12-shot difference, or 12-second difference on the shot clock.
See, they want Langdon's that ball in his hands. Mike Krzyzewski as much as possible.
Wojo 14 on the shot clock. Duke by 1.
Clemson's going to get a last chance to get the rock. Heading McLeod with that turnaround jumper.
Brand kept it alive. Kicked it in.
Elton Brand. They're going to salute those doctors, baby, for getting him ready to play.
Now Duke by 3. They got a guard against the 3. McIntyre gets it. It wins.
McIntyre so bad. Plenty of time on the clock.
Now Duke, there was a timeout.
Timeout was called.
Well, Wojciechowski thought, uh-oh, we've got a game winner here with 7.8 seconds to go. It will be Duke's ball. We are tied at 64. McIntyre has hit 2 incredible pressure shots in a row.
Now you wonder why they struggled most of the year. Well, they played without that little guy. That little guy is so important to their club. I'm telling you, in the NCAA, people, if you're looking for a sleeper, if you're looking for a Rip Van Winkle, I wouldn't call him a sleeper, but they're probably not going to be a top 4 seed. Watch out for Clemson.
McIntyre with 11 points, but he saved the last 6 for the last 2 possessions, the biggest possessions of the game.
Elton Brand working on the inside, the big strong guy. You'd have thought this would have been enough, but you couldn't tell that to McIntyre. Can't celebrate too soon against this Clemson team, this little guy. You gotta love him. He has such a passion for playing, and as you said, was not spoiled by the recruiting process. Wanted to play for North Carolina.
Now, Dick, what do you do here as a coach with 7.8 seconds to go? What kind of play do you like?
Well, basically, you're going to try to get it in the hands of your penetrator. You got plenty of time to get the ball up the floor. You don't want to shoot until it's like basically about 2-3 seconds to go. So they got a chance for an offensive rebound. But you got to be careful going for that offensive rebound that you don't foul either.
Well, that would probably be Mo Wojciechowski or Langdon handling the basketball in the last 7.8 seconds. And the winner of this game will go against North Carolina for the ACC Tournament Championship tomorrow.
You got to watch now if you're Clemson for the missed shot. A guy on the offensive boards can be so much of a factor late in the game here.
And Clemson puts a lot of pressure on you. They'll go full court. These guys have stolen a lot of balls this year.
They bring in Avery to get another guy penetrating and scoring. You got to watch for the steal under the basket as well.
They'll get it to Avery. Working on McIntyre. Puts it up, won't go. Avery.
There's the offensive rebound. Yes, there's the offensive rebound. Oh, they're waving it off. Oh, no, they're not waving it. The tip-in.
It was so close to being offensive rebounding.
Yes, sir. Hey,
3/10 of a second to go. Rick Barnes sure wanted the call. He's not going to get it. Only the replay is going to tell us if it was that close.
2 factors right here, Mike. We talked about the offensive rebound being the most dangerous shot on the floor. They get it, but there's another big factor. In college basketball, you cannot catch the ball and shoot it with .03. The only way you can score is with a tip-in. You cannot catch the ball and score, so Clemson is done. They're done, Mike. There's no way. Now watch this right here. It's right up on the...
I don't think he touched it.
No, I don't think so.
Pulled his hand back.
He pulled it back. That's what it looked like from that angle.
There's Avery, gets his own rebound.
Keeps it up. There's the roll. He pulls his hand away.
Beautiful play by McLeod. Otherwise, it is goaltending, and Avery gets the bucket.
Mike, they cannot shoot the ball. Under the rules in college basketball, 0.3 seconds and less, you are not allowed to catch the ball and to shoot it. You can only tip.
what is it, 4 tenths and under?
It's 3. 3 tenths and under. 3 tenths and under. So I can't see possibly, logically, any way they throw the ball up and just try a tip.
Oh, that's true. They can throw the baseball past length of the court and try to tip it in without catching it. That's what they're reduced to. The last 2 Duke field goals have come off of offensive rebounds, and they have 16 of those today. (66-64), Duke by 2 in a game that has been a war from the very beginning.
Mike, the stage is set for phase 3. It's unbelievable. Now, if this was the NBA rules, you can at least take the ball out. You have the choice at mid-court and throw it up to the basket. Well, you cannot do that in college basketball. The stage is set for phase 3 tomorrow. North Carolina and Duke. And I agree with all the people like John Saunders and Digger Phelps and Chris Fowler. Even though my heart says I'd like to reward the regular season, the bottom line is Duke's going to have to beat North Carolina to earn the right to be the #1 seed here in the East.
Oh, I agree with that totally. If you beat whichever one wins 2 of the 3 deserves to be the #1 seed in the East.
Well, let's see what happens right here, Mike. They're going to throw it up to the basket, I guess.
Weidman will inbound.
Oh, there's the block.
And it's blocked by Barrier, and it's over.
Oh, have they earned it here? Have they earned it? Think about this, Mike. 120 minutes, and only, my math tells me, 7 points separate these 3 teams. Watch Clemson in the NCAA tournament. Dangerous, baby, dangerous.
Clemson let it all hang out. They come up 2 points short in the ACC tournament, 66-64. Holy cow, what an afternoon of basketball. The first game goes overtime. North Carolina beats Maryland in that overtime. And Duke goes to the buzzer to beat Clemson 66-64.
And as a look at Shaman Williams in OT, baby. He responded big time for the Tar Heels. I mean, he was unbelievable, on fire with 10 big points. And there's the freshman, William Avery. Now watch him on the offensive rebound. The missed shot so many times is the winner. And there is Avery. What a great play, the diaper dandy. And the Dukies on the heels. I can't wait, Mike. I can't wait. Can we stay here? Can we stay here for tomorrow? I can't wait for that matchup. Wow.
This is what everybody came here to see. 2 great semifinal games, and the anticipated matchup will happen tomorrow. The final score, Duke over Clemson, 66-64. Stay tuned for the Atlantic 10 Championship. You're watching ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. This is Mike Patrick. Good night from Greensboro.